Good morning to everybody, and welcome to the BeHealth Present for Fresno TAY project. There'll be more information about it as we go on. This is an exciting event that tested both the BeHealth team as well as the Fresno community, as well as the students who persevered. We did this virtually in a COVID environment that was disrupting everything, and yet I think you're all going to be pretty profoundly impressed with the team presentation, if the preview has anything to do with what's going to happen. And so I'm going to leave a shout out to the team and let Kevin introduce them a little later. And again, welcome. I look forward to your participation, your input, your dialogue around this approach of human-centered design thinking to generate new and innovative ideas as a way to solve long-standing technical and adaptive problems. So welcome, and Lori, please
Thank you
take
so
it away.
much, Steve. So I'm Lori Clark with San Diego State University Social Policy Institute, and you just heard from our director, Steve Hornberger. Our principal partner is Kevin Popovic at the Idea Guide, joined by Ed Quinlan today. So the two of us have really had the pleasure of bringing forward this project, but it couldn't have been done without all the many partners in Fresno who helped us navigate through COVID, after COVID, as we're becoming open again, to really join together for a great experience that will pay dividends for everybody involved, no doubt for years to come. So you see our partners listed there, and we're really grateful for each and every one who lent their voice, their expertise, their relationships, their partnership all along the way. So many, many thanks. Particularly, I want to call out the County of Fresno Department of Behavioral Health, who not only underwrote this project, but collaborated with us every step of the way and made what you're about to see today possible. So thank you for your support. I also want to call out a special thanks to Fresno Unified. And today we have with us Michelle Marr as one of our partners. Michelle is in the CTE department. So Michelle, I'd love to hear just a word from you on your experience and what this project has meant to you.
Thank you, Lori. So I got connected to this project through our industry partner coordinator, Tara, who's out on medical leave right now. So really, Ralph and Celia, who are also on this call, have done more work too, but connected through our office. Really, I just learned that BeHealth design thinking is this meaningful process to drive solutions to these complex problems. We're always looking for ways for our students to get these great experiences. So it really was this team process to figure things out for our students. We were the Friday group. We always seemed to meet on afternoons when everybody else was starting their vacations early. We were in there doing the work and meeting on Friday afternoons, but really looking at ways that these students could figure out ways to shift the dialogue with problems to why we can't, to how might we do this, right? So COVID gave us some positives and some difficulties, challenges, but one of the great things was we could connect in this timing when students were virtual and they could be connected without having to drive places to great industry partners in San Diego or things like that. But then when things started to open back up, students also got very busy shifting dates and things like that to try to get it finished. And Celia and Ralph were trying to connect with students originally that they'd never actually met in person, but trying to go, hey, do you want to do this and meet here? So there was some craziness, but the good news is that all the registered students completed the 4 hours of the HCDT work and found a project to address a specific issue about. And though not all teams completed the prototyping testing phases and presented the project, they can take those same thinking design skills that they use and use them for life. As far as the future, we have engaged relationships where we can move this forward in the future and learn from some of the stops and starts that we had. And Celia and Ralph have really been doing a lot of more work on this even than I have. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything, but from my perspective, we have just really persevered, as have the students and everybody in this project, to bring forth the work.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and add to that. I think the biggest challenge, like you said, Michelle, is being able to have these students work together in an asynchronous environment while, you know, everything was literally changing around them week to week and stuff, and that was a big challenge. I do want to kind of congratulate and recognize the two students that we have here, though, Lena Diaz and Malik Robb. I've always said that they're some of our best and brightest, and they are literally some of our best and brightest. Both of them are valedictorians when they graduate next Wednesday. Miss Diaz is actually going down to San Diego State, so she's going to get to experience those earthquakes firsthand next year. Mr. Robb's heading to Texas for school, and they're both I think, even though this was an extremely challenging process for the two of them, I think it's going to prepare them very well for college and for those early jobs, where the fact that they're able to work in this environment and they're able to succeed in this environment is going to put them ahead of a lot of those other entry level, you know, employees and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what they have to say. They're always really prepared. I've been fortunate enough to know and work with Malik all 4 years. Alina, I really only kind of met and got to know last year, and I don't think I could talk her into staying at Bullard for another 2 years. But they are both extremely talented, and hopefully, you know, at different points in the future, we're able to reach out to them to inspire some of our current students too.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and reaching out to us and allowing us the opportunity to work with all of you and providing this amazing opportunity for our students. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, Michelle and Celia and Ralph. I think your comments really just brought this whole process alive. Human-centered design thinking is really a way of shifting from why we can't to what we can do in very innovative ways. So at the beginning of this process, we invited youth that came together in our learning opportunity and workshop to think about some very common issues that face transitional age youth today. And you see them on the screen there. It's very important to recognize the signs and symptoms of behavioral health concerns so that they can be addressed early. Youth mental health, children's mental health is a unique perspective and requires unique relationships and unique responses. We know that part of behavioral health is not just the mental health and wellness component, but also substance use and substance use disorders. So it combines that focus on addiction and substance use. We know also that trauma is widespread and pervasive, and that many times it results in adverse childhood experiences or adverse youth experiences, which can have a different impact on one individual to another based on many factors. Also, we invited the students to look at suicide prevention, particularly among a youth population, which has been an unacceptably high number and growing. We wanted the students to think about what treatment or intervention and recovery means in terms of wellness and addressing that underlying trauma. And I'm certain that the project you're about to hear about today is going to show that these students took these issues very seriously and came to the table to innovate ways of addressing them. Kevin, back to you.
All right, thanks, Lori. I just want to quickly bring everybody up to speed on a couple of the processes that we had taught as part of our program. Ralph, as you said, that they're going to be able to take forward with them as they move forward in their careers in their schools. Design thinking is the basis of our process, and this is our version of it. As everybody might refer to as human-centered design, whether it's design thinking, all of it is focused on the creative process with an emphasis on empathy, which is always a great place to start. The other things we taught them was an innovation process. All right, how to work through learning to identify your area of interest and the people involved, how they could go very quickly through a workshop scenario in 4 hours generate a concept for a prototype to test their thinking, to then go through our extended development process with all the challenges in delivering that Celia through the school year, competing with everything else they had going on, and their academics and athletics. And then in order to put it all together to communicate to all of us what their big idea is on helping others. They're going to go through a bit of their observation. They're going to talk about the problem statement. They are going to talk about the design thinking process as they applied it, as well as a demo of their live prototype. And then they'll field any questions and comments that we have, and then we'll move forward. Stefan will help us with an evaluation so that we're able to collect quantitative and qualitative data around that to round out our evaluation of the project. So with that, I will happily introduce the ePoint team, and Alina, Malik, the floor is yours. Let's show them what you did.
Okay, thank you, KP. Okay, so the problem that we've seen in our area is that, well, firsthand, we've seen through research that not many students know how to find or access treatment and available resources for emotional support. And so, who we think is involved would include the students, their friends, parents and family members, teachers, and counselors. And the impact of this problem we've seen is that only 70% of the US teens who have serious emotional or behavioral difficulties receive mental health services that don't involve taking medications, such as counseling, according to a new report from the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention.
All right, so after seeing these problems and thinking about this, we thought like, okay, we discussed with our friends, we realized that, like she said, none of them were able to locate any resources, and that was a huge problem for us. Therefore, we just got to thinking like, how can we help those in the Bullard High School community and identify the options for mental health support for them? How can we increase those resources for them to improve treatments and get them the help that they need?
So we created our first problem statement being based on what we knew of how might we help Bullard students identify options for mental health support to increase access to resources, improve treatments received, and impact mental health. Okay, yeah, so this is our project plan. And what we had in place was, we had this in place to keep us on track that included all of our to-dos required based on the design thinking process. Following through with it during the semester of our last year of high school and during the pandemic was a little difficult, but as you can see, we have managed to complete our tasks, getting the best of work done with KP by our side helping out. Throughout our research, when completing it, we focus on the areas in Fresno that we feel are most relevant to the Bullard students. And despite this being a very busy time of the year and unable to visit some resource locations due to the pandemic, Malik and I found ourselves relying on Google Maps to discover some resource centers, just as if we were to walk up to them.
And after viewing and choosing some of the best resource centers near Bullard, we created a scorecard and rated them each from a scale of 1 to 100. Based on what seemed to make the most sense to the students.
We also created a survey for our classmates about the resource centers that we found available located within our map. Based on our survey, we found out that an average of 74.7% of our classmates don't even know about the available resources that are located here in the Bullard area.
All right, so our research was thorough for each of the resource centers, including taking the notes on them, which is depicted on the screen, based on getting in contact with them, visiting their websites and reviewing their locations. We learned that many just don't have the right channels or types of engagement for their target audience, high school students like us and our friends.
Looking deeper into the issue of emotional support, we wanted to understand what students need from other perspectives to receive guidance and help. So we found the needs and insights within our research and learned to identify the different point of views needed to understand when guiding a student into the right direction of receiving the proper care they need.
From our parents' point of view, to help students, they would need to be understanding and educated on teen health. And from our teachers' point of view, we found that they need to provide one-on-one time with the students and personally know about available resources for them.
So together we had updated our problem statement, looking through those different point of views for the purpose of understanding what questions others may have to help the students and how they may view guidance to support. From a teacher's perspective, they might ask, how can we help our students at Bullard High find the proper care to mental health by providing accessible resources nearby?
When understanding these points of views, we found that these different perspectives need the ability to guide students with an understanding and proper knowledge of how to take care of students' emotional health.
And based on what we learned from our research, we believe that the real problem is how we could help the Bullard High community provide access to reliable resources for students to increase access, improve treatments received, and impact mental health.
Alina and I gathered our ideas to sketch out what our thoughts were to help provide access to emotional support for students throughout all perspectives. At first, we had some ideas of a call center, an app, a social media page or QR code, and the more we felt like students might engage in the best.
What we took away from this was that it definitely needed to be engaging to everyone, especially the students, but also for other age groups and perspectives to work with it well and get an understanding on different issues.
From another on-the-spot sketching activity, we were bouncing around on ideas, understanding certain problems that students may have, or where to find the best reliable treatment resources centers for them.
So we found the need to have one spot for anyone to be educated on the different issues students themselves may be dealing with, along with providing the best available resources. And together, we came up with ePoint Resource Locator.
ePoint is a website we created to work on all devices, which provides all that we think has been missing to the students in our Bullard community. Within it, you can find easy access to the resources, to the resource centers in our area, along with the contact information, pricing, locations, and more.
When first accessing the website, visitors are made aware that we provide local resources for therapists, doctors, counselors, and support. They are directed to a quick and easy search at the top of the page for a center based on specific needs, such as pricing and locations.
Following our categories based on any struggles someone may be dealing with that could direct them to the best resource centers for their specific need. Next, we provide the resource centers listed with them. Then you can find an overview of the center, their hours, contact information, location, booking information, and reviews.
And one great feature that we provide to each resource are our ePoint review videos. The videos that we've created are a gist of the resource centers with our ePoint scoring grade for a review of the resource center using our scorecards.
We want others to watch and feel comfortable knowing that fellow students have done the research and a review of the resource centers themselves.
Okay, and back to the first page are available quotes that we have received from fellow students and friends and parents about our website idea, including some from parent and student point of views, like one from this parent who thinks that voicing our opinions is helpful compared to someone else's, like an adult who may see things differently.
All right, lastly, in the blog section, along with the resource centers available, this is an important section for Alina and I that is provided within our website. The blog provides insights of news stories, articles, and lots of important detailed information for improving emotional health.
While building our project, we started planning on ways to grow the site in the future. We would like to add more features to our website that allows visitors to create accounts and save their favorite resource centers, along with providing reviews. We would even encourage other resource centers to create an account and to add their resource centers into the site themselves for our visitors to engage with them.
For other site improvements in the future, we would like to get it out to the different perspectives mentioned through students, parents, friends, teachers, and counselors. Testing it on these different viewpoints could provide us with help information to make improvements.
A student, for example, could even help our engagement by sharing the link to to the website on their social media, a parent can share it with their peers or fellow PTA members for great feedback, and a friend could provide instant commentary. Teachers and counselors could even share this with the principal to share out with other teachers directly and receive instant feedback from counselors.
So basically what we learned by doing this project, basically about the problem of how teenagers have a problem finding resource centers, is that we face difficulties locating these resources that we need to improve our teenagers' emotional health.
Yeah, we've also learned that preferences getting teenagers easier access to help.
What others should take away from this is basically that we need to listen to everyone's point of view. So it's not just located just towards students. We need also parents' point of views, teachers' point of views, just so we can all get this to work out for our teenagers and for other people if they need it also.
Yeah, we've just realized that not everyone knows about the opportunities that are offered to them locally. Therefore, those who do know about these opportunities, like we do now, need to step up and make them known.
And this is what we think should come next. We should add additional information to the website. So like more mental health places in the Bullard area, or possibly even around Fresno if it can get that big enough. And we should be able to promote our website through, if we can, TV, a social media account, anything that we can use to promote the website to get this known.
Yeah, just putting it in use and building from what others think based on their commentary and feedback of what they think of our website, along with having other resource centers being able to include themselves into our website for us to work together. Okay, and are there any questions? Thank you, guys.
Very
Bravo.
nicely done. Very nicely done.
Bravo.
Very nice, guys.
Excellent presentation.
So first of all, this is amazing. You guys continue to amaze me. You guys graduate on Wednesday and you're still amazing me. The only question I had, and I think you mentioned it, and I kind of saw like a little bit of a reference to it on the website, but is there any kind of filter or any kind of way, because you talked about filtering by location, things like that, but filtering by what types of insurance? Yeah, from a student perspective, it's great. I think adding in that functionality might bring in a different user base, parents and stuff like that would be able to access it and figure things out. But I liked the presentation. It's very smooth and very clear. It's great. You guys did a great job.
I think it's outstanding that you took into consideration that students and youth are in a system with other people and other systems. And I think that's a really important consideration to take into, providing enough information to make good choices and have all the information you need to make that choice. So I think it was really well done. I mean, you always have business people go into like privacy practices and how to handle what and if anything might be considered confidential and complaints and moderation, but this is really well done.
If I may, I just want to make sure we point out too that the videos, one of the things that Alina Malik thought was important was communicating in a way that made sense to their colleagues, right? Their friends and colleagues. So if I may, I'm going to just play one of them. They're short, but I want you to demonstrate, to really kind of demonstrate how far they have gone to prototype.
Hey, I'm Malik.
And I'm Alina. We are 2021 Bullard High School graduates and are traveling throughout the Bullard region to find behavioral health resource centers for high school students.
In this video, we will be reviewing Alpha Behavioral Counseling Center.
The Alpha Behavioral Counseling Center is located 2547 West Shaw Avenue, headed towards Uncle Harry's Bakery from Bullard High.
Some services provided include behavioral therapy and solution-based counseling, family therapy, and much more. They also offer online services.
Their website is abccenterinc.com.
They also have a Facebook page, which is Alpha Behavioral Counseling Center, which consists of their website address, phone number, messenger link to book an appointment, the hours they are available, and general mental health information.
They have a 3.7 out of 5 rating with reviews from multiple age ranges.
There's usually one psychologist who is a college graduate in the subject that does the emotional support evaluations.
Based on the information provided, we believe that Alpha Behavioral Counseling Center is a great fit for anyone looking for treatment in an environment full of welcoming and knowledgeable professionals.
Our ePoint grade for them is an 81 out of 100.
ePoint is committed to providing student-friendly reviews of behavioral health resources.
To learn more about the doctors, therapists, and counselors in our community, visit ePoint today.
All right, there we go. Again, they take the information from the page, they interpret it, and then build out a script based on the model. So they did this one, and then they did one for discovery, mood, and anxiety as well. And every time that they would do a video, then that was, they gave it the featured designation. And then anytime that they could not check out all the information, then that property was unverified. So they built kind of a staging system on how they were vetting resources.
Yes. Hi, everyone. This is Chris with NAMI Fresno, and I came in a little late on the presentation, but the part I did get to hear is amazing, and I'm so grateful for this. And I'm what I wanted to express, not so much a question, just a point of gratitude to the students for including the family member's voice. As an organization that really services the family members, and that's how we came to be. One of the most common comments I get from families, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever's involved in caring for youth is that they don't have anywhere to go. They don't know what to do. So by making sure you've included the family member voice in this project, as one for them to be aware of it, is phenomenal. So I just want to say thank you. And as you continue to build this, I hope to see NAMI Fresno as a resource provided to our local families.
So first and foremost, congratulations, you guys. Outstanding job under more than challenging circumstances. My question is more of curiosity, more about peer, how important peer comments and stuff are. What was your favorite part of the process? What was the part that really kind of accelerated your imagination and to get such a great outcome?
I'll go first. Well, for me, what was my favorite part was just getting the website actually together, having all our research and data like completed, and finally being able to put it in one place. And just seeing it all come together at the end, I feel like it looks great, and we did a great job. And with KP's help, I think it's like the best we could do, and we could only expand it from here, honestly.
I'll have to agree with Alina with that being my favorite part also. Having a website come together. I remember the meeting, I remember the meeting, we all just sat there trying to come up with the names, designing a logo, and it's basically at that point, like we knew everything was done. And like she said, everything started to come together, and that was just my favorite part. Like we got to see all the work we put in really pay off.
Excellent, thank you.
Well, I want to add my congratulations also, just really moved by this project. It's so dynamic and so exciting. And I think others have said this in the chat, but it bears saying and calling out again that for you all to give credibility, to give voice from one youth to another, of really just stepping up and saying, here's what to expect when you go there, here's how to get there, here's where it's new, or what it's near, was just really wonderful. And that's exactly what youth need, I think, not to hear from others, although that helps to reinforce it, but to hear from other youth themselves. So thank you both for lending your voice to this.
I just wanted to add to that. Yeah, especially with our videos, we just wanted to have like students and other kids like our ages at Woolard just be able to feel comfortable within our website, having our like point of views and opinions on these resource centers available for them, just to feel comfortable within it.
And then also, this might be a little bit of a different detail for the non-Fresno people, and I know this is just a prototype that you have of that Bullard area, but on that map and just a handful of places that you kind of put there, one of them, in fact, it was the video that the two of you were talking about. I liked that you guys had a place near that Sean Marks area, which is one of our more difficult and more rough neighborhoods that are part of our Bullard region, along with, places right across the street from Bullard, places, off of Van Ness and stuff like that. So it's very objective, and it's not showing that, these places are only in maybe the more affluent areas of our region. Like, there are resources available nearby regardless of where you live. And I know that's, like I said, I know you only did a handful of them, but even with just that handful, you did a really good job of presenting that way.
And to build on that, Ralph, I thought it was also really a youth perspective to say, and it's right down the street from, I think you said it was a bakery or a coffee place. And so it makes it so much more accessible to young people. So bravo.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt like that was kind of important because it's that bakery is kind of a big thing in our Bullard community. And I just thought it'd be a fun little thing for them to like realize when trying to find this resource center.
Yep. Well done.
Yeah, I want to congratulate Alina and Malik. You did an amazing job. Your presentation was great. I wanted to tell you that it was clear that you have practiced your presentation. Your voices were clear and audible. Your transition and you were speaking and taking turns, that was amazing. And your project, amazing. I've been, my favorite part of this, your website is your videos where you're talking to your peers and you're, talking about how you give this scoring system for all these different facilities in the area. Great job, really great job.
All right. Well, just a final. I'm so proud of you guys. You're awesome to work with, and I'm so proud of what you accomplished here today, Liam Lake. You guys always got the idea guy behind you when you need him. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, KP. You helped out a lot, and you taught us a lot of how to just go on with our project, and we really appreciate all the work that you did helping us out.
Yeah, I have to agree with Elena with that, KP. You're a huge help because during my times where I was lost, I didn't know what to do. You helped me out, got me back on the track and everything. So I want to thank you for that.
It's very welcome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Big love.
Well, it's all about community, and you got the opportunity to practice being in community and coming together as partners to put your attention to an issue that's really important and to come up with a really innovative solution. So today we not only wanted to give you our verbal feedback and affirmation, but we're going to do this in a bit of an objective way as well, as the students knew about in advance. So Stefan, walk us all through how we can give the students additional feedback on their presentation today.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, this is called just an evaluation, and it is a Google form that you put a link in your chat box right now. You can click on it now. You can hopefully you'll click on it soon before the meeting ends, and fill out a real short, sort of like a survey or quiz. So you're gonna talk about how well the participants did. You're gonna scale it 1 to 10. 10 being the best and 1 being the worst. And so some of the questions will be, as you see on your screen, did they explain the problem? Were they clear in saying what they were trying to do and who they were trying to help? Did they talk about the steps that they would achieve to accomplish the solution they're proposing? And as you heard, like, the presenters were very well articulated. So did they explain their problem statement based upon what they learned from their research? I think they had some good slides there, by the way. And did you, in the end, really, something you really want to focus on, what the culmination of the survey is getting to just, in your opinion, is the idea feasible, desirable, and viable? Feasible meaning, can it be done? Like, is this project something that can really happen? Desirable, meaning that if it did happen, like, is there a demand for it? Or would people visit the site? Would people use it? Would people tell their friends about it? Is there basically a need and want for this? And then viable, does it actually do what it says it's going to do? And so you'll be rating, the evaluators, the presentation, and the content, but ultimately in the end, overall, you're focusing on feasible, desirable, and viable. There's some instructions in the link as you flip through the pages. Your survey responses will be saved to an Excel sheet that we can use to evaluate and present information on the results.
The Behavioral Health Department asked us to use an innovative approach to improve the health and well-being of TAY youth experiences in the Fresno area. We did lots of outreach. We did both with TAY youth, older TAY youth, and then what we described with Fresno as the people who are going to be becoming TAY, and therefore what are the things that they would look forward to. And as you remember way back when, I mean, and it's been a while, but clearly more than a year ago, we talked about how once we finished the presentations that we would put them together and forward them with the ratings and our evaluation of the process to Behavioral Health Department, because again, they were using what's called Oversight and Accountability Commission innovation funding for this project. And so they were looking to see, was there something that was feasible, desirable, and viable that they might want to consider going forward. And so that's what the next step will be for the Department of Behavioral Health Services, to see how this aligns, and this incredible project aligns with their goals and priorities for the next year or two. And if those align well, then they would be going forward to fund this as an ongoing project. But that's still a decision to be made. Again, what Kevin was referencing about this being up on the BeHealth website, it's also an opportunity for private funders or some other funder to say, yes, we think this is really important, then they want to fund it. So part of it now would be who's interested, how much, and then how do we create an operational plan? Because what we created here was a brilliant prototype. But other than Stefan paying for this every 30 days and Malik and Alina being a volunteer ad infinitum, we need to make it something so that it becomes operational. And given that both of them are going to college, I have a hunch there's a short window where they're going to keep doing it as a volunteer. So we need to move it along to the next level of interest and sustainability. And clearly we'll reach out with Tara, Michelle, Ralph, and Celia and the other stakeholders, and now Chris and the other stakeholders in Fresno to see where's the interest and how we might make this happen. Because clearly you identified a problem that's sorely needed. How do you make it, how do you help young people understand where are their resources and how would those work for them, for their issues in a way that makes sense to them? You did a brilliant job. I think we're going to find something, but I can't guarantee it to you today. But I do think you've opened the window that has not been there before. So that's really exciting. And so we'll follow that up. And I guess we have your regular email, Alina and Malik, so that as we move it forward and we learn something, we'll certainly forward to you, because you're clearly the pioneers that created this. And so I want you to be aware of everything going forward, as well as Fresno Unified's folks. Going forward, and there was a note in one of the chats that I think it was Michelle or Tara, I'm not sure which one, that this was just a wonderful process, and it was a joy to collaborate with you through those Fridays and Celia's Starbucks story. So we were excited about that. We look forward to seeing what else might happen. This would be a lot of fun, and I actually am looking forward to coming to Fresno at some point and going to, it's not Starbucks, what's the other name, the other coffee place?
Dutch Bros.
Is there another?
And so again, look forward to it. Tara, continue to heal, get well. Chris from NAMI put in a suggestion in the chat. We'll keep all of that together. Michelle, you did fabulous. Ralph and Celia, it's been a joy, and you've again, I look forward to sitting and breaking bread with you at some point, because you guys have been nothing but spectacular.
Come on down.
No, I think we have to go up, Stefan.
I'll go.
We're willing to make the sacrifice to go down to San Diego. Whatever we need to do, we will do that.
All right, and then just so you all know, Daryl Duchesne was not able to make it because he's traveling. And yes, he's also still interested in seeing what we can do with TAY Youth and through his circle of contacts and folks. So we'll see where this keeps growing to. Thank you very much. This has been brilliant. You certainly demonstrated the power, the value, and the utilization of human-centered design thinking to address complex problems in a way that's innovative and doable. So bravo. Thank you all. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay well.